Peace. All praise and glory to the Supreme Spirit of Truth, the living God who is one. The Supreme Spirit which is one. There can only be one Creator. We're here at Numbers 12. This is a short chapter, but yet it does have a couple of cross references that I want to go over. We're starting to get far enough in this Bible now where you're going to start seeing both sides of this Bible, both the Christian side and Hebrew written. Now, let me remind you that when I say Hebrew, and these Hebrew here are pushing Yahushai or Yeshua as God and saying that you need to go through their God, Yeshua, is no different than the Christians who've told you that you have to worship Jesus Christ. They've just changed Jesus from a white man, Jesus Christ crucified, to a black man. So if you're just changing the color and you're still pushing the same context, then you're in error. Okay, now also the Lord of the Bible in the Bible is 3068 of the Strong's Concordance, and that there is noted as the supreme, self-existing, eternal spirit. That's what the Lord's definition is. The name of the Lord is Yahweh. The Hebrews call him Yahweh. They call him Yah. They call him also Yahweh. Okay, and those in the province of Jerusalem today, those Jews in Jerusalem today, they call God Jehovah or Jehovah. But there was no J, folks. A J is a translation, a broken translation from the Hebrew dialect to the Greek dialect to Latin to English. So, I mean, we're going back. Now, most people will tell you that you have to read the Hebrew Bible to understand what's being said. You have to know the words in the context. Look, all you need to know is the spirit of truth, and then you'll know the truth. It's that simple. You walk in the truth. You ask for the spirit of truth. Discernment comes from the spirit of truth. Tells you plainly in the Bible, man. Don't go to man for anything. But yet we have all these different instructors out here that are teaching a lot of different fallacies to the Bible, and they don't understand exactly what's being said. So here in Numbers 12, let's begin. Mariam and Aaron began to talk against Moses because of his Cushite wife, for he had married a Cushite. Has the Lord spoken only through Moses? As I imagine. I don't know which one they asked. What, did they stand there and stare at each other and say, did they pump each other up? Did they get underneath of each other's goats? Whoa, pride. That's ego. That there is an ego. Aaron has built a calf. He has been belligerent and turned against God the whole freaking way. He's built idols. He talks against the prophets. He's done a lot of shady things, man. Yet he has not been punished. Yet he had two of his very own children destroyed by the Lord. And they asked what? They asked each other, hasn't he also spoken through us? Pride, ego, arrogance. And the Lord heard this. Now, are we talking about a spirit or something in a flesh suit or something that is a spiritual body? We need to understand that there's a natural body, okay, and then this equals flesh, and then you have a spiritual body. And this is what people don't understand, is the spiritual body is a spirit. It's not a flesh. I don't even think that a spiritual body is a human. A spiritual body is just that. It's spiritual. Anything that's carbon, that's flesh, is of the seed of Satan. When you're born into this plane of existence, face it, you are the seed of Satan. Something terrible took place that day in the garden. Awful took place in the day when God said, do not eat from that tree of knowledge of good and evil, or you shall surely die that day. You died that day. You lost the spirit. Okay? You became a natural body yourself. That's what the Hebrew people did. You became a natural body and you stopped being a spiritual body because you hearkened to the words of a man first. Eve hearkened to the voice of a man. Okay, this man that Eve hearkened to the voice to is the serpent. Okay, this is what it's talking about. The serpent was more crafty than any other beast of the field that the Lord God had made. Now Moses was very humble man, more humble than any other man on the face of the earth. At once the Lord said to Moses, again 360. Remember, you got to remember these, folks. You got to understand the definitions of God. Okay? God has many different definitions in the Bible. When you say God, it doesn't mean the supreme spirit, the truth. It doesn't mean the light that is outside of this plane of existence. When it talks about God, it's talking about something that is plural of Eloah. Gods in the ordinary sense. This one here is eternal. At once the Lord said to Moses, Aaron and Mariam, said to Moses, Mariam, and Aaron, come out to the tent of meetings, all three of you. So the three of them went out. Then the Lord came down in a pillar of a cloud. Okay, a pillar of a cloud. A humble man, face on the earth. At once the Lord said to Moses, Aaron, and Mariam. Okay, the Lord's already said it right now. He's just now said it. He's talking to these three. 1, 2, 3. He's talking to these three now. The Lord said to Moses, Aaron, and Mariam, come out to the tent of meetings, all three of you. So the three of them went out. Then the Lord came down in a pillar of cloud. Well, if the Lord is coming down in a pillar of cloud here, why isn't he a pillar of cloud already here when he's telling the three of them to come out to the tent of meetings? He stood at the entrance to the tent and summoned Aaron and Mariam. When the two of them stepped forward, he said, listen to my words. When the prophet, and all prophets on this plane of existence seem to be profiters of conning everybody to give us your stuff, make us rich. I don't trust anybody at all that's saying, send me your donations, man. Send me some tithings. Bless me. Bless me. No, see, I look to the Spirit of God to bless me. And then if somebody he's going to bless me some way or another. I know how the Spirit works. I've seen it. Now I realize it today with the scales removed off my eyes, how many times that the Spirit's hand was on me or on others to direct me in a particular direction. It's that simple, man. There's no getting around it. So when there's a prophet among you, because I believe that this is all indoctrination to slavery. Let somebody rule over you. That's the way I see it today, man. Don't let anybody rule over you, man. Read yourself approved. Study yourself approved. You got to remember, your God condones slavery. And personally myself, I do not condone slavery of any kind. We have been made slaves from the gods of this realm, of the gods of this world. The beast system, we've been turned into the slaves of them. So I, the Lord, reveal myself to them in visions. Again, if we go here, visions are dreams. See, this life here that you're living right here, right now, when you're awake and you're walking around and you're all doing this, this is a dream. You are living a dream. Somehow you have been captured in a flesh suit in this material world that seems all so incredibly real that you can get killed in this realm when you participate. It's just like Pinocchio. Pinocchio was sent on his way to go to school so he could learn how to be good, and he was always being distracted by everybody else, man. The wolf and the fox and the dog and the circus acts and all that. It's all a distraction, all of it. So a vision is a dream. It's also an illusion. And that is big. An illusion, because we know that the man that's created in Genesis 1:27 is created in an image. Okay? And an image is an illusion. So when the Lord presents himself to us, if the Lord is to present himself, it's not going to be a physical angel or a man or somebody coming up to you. We're talking about a vision in your sleep where the Lord comes upon you. He either lets you remember your dreams or he doesn't. But the subconscious, when you go to sleep and your soul leaves your body, it goes back to the spirit for feeding. This is what the whole deal is. Your soul needs to be fed just like the body needs to be fed. The only way that the soul can be fed is going back to the Lord. The Spirit of truth, the living God, feeds everything. Everything. Okay? So your soul has to be fed as well. So God speaks to them in dreams. But this is not true of my servant Moses. He is faithful in all my house. With him I speak face to face. This here is also confirmed in Exodus 33, 9 through 11, which says that the cloud here comes down, okay? Just like it's coming down right now, the cloud comes down, and everybody comes out and they sit at their tents while the cloud talks with Moses. Exodus 33, 39 comes down, and he sits with Moses, face to face, like one who sits with a friend. Okay, this is a problem. Okay? The same book, same chapter, just this one here is through 20 through 22. Okay? And this one here is also Exodus chapter 33. 33, 9, 11. Imagine these parables right here, 9, 11. If that isn't coded to you, or something secret, doesn't sound like a Masonic number to you, 33 and 9, 11. Sit with Moses face to face, like one who sits with a friend. And then in 33, 20, it says, God, the Lord, is telling Moses, there's a place that I know where I shall place you in the cleft of a rock. And as I pass by, I will show you my hand. And after I have passed by, I'll remove my hand so that you may see my back. For no man can see my face and live. So here you got a contradiction. Okay, 33:22 says, no man can see God's face and live. So this is a really big tell, folks. Why? No man can see God's face and live. This is a contradiction inside of the Bible. This is where we're getting. We're starting to see things that are not consistent inside of the Bible. Now you have the Lord. You have the Lord contradicting himself. So that's skeptical. Or it's the same thing as the text between the Old Testament and the New Testament, which was changed. Something was changed in the Bible. Something is different in the Bible. You got one God saying that no one can see his face and live, which is a spirit. You can't see spirit in this plane of existence. The only way you can see a spirit in this plane of existence is when you go to sleep and your soul leaves your body. And if you have one of those terrifying nightmares that you can't wake up, man, that's because you're being attacked. Your soul is trying to return back to its body, and you're being attacked into the underworld, man. That's what nightmares are. You might be having some sleep apnea or something like that, and you're holding your breath there, man, and your body is slowly dying, man. It's dying, starving for oxygen before you finally right? And then you fucking finally wake up, man. Well, when sleep apnea is a serious medical condition, folks. Okay? So the spirit world is when you go to sleep and then your soul leaves your body. All right? And then your body rests and heals. And then the soul returns from feeding. Okay? But what are you being fed from? That's important to know too as well. So now, also here, he is faithful in all my house. With him I speak face to face, which is a lie. He can't, it's not a lie. You've got to either look at this of one of two ways, that this Lord, this spiritual body, it's a spiritual body. It has to be a spiritual body that the Spirit is saying, hey, I am allowing Moses to see my magnificence. And that's all right. I would buy into that, man. I don't have any problems with that. What I have a problem with is then the Lord, the same Lord in the same chapter, Lord, this is the Lord, folks. This pen's taking a dump. No man can see my face and live. So you got the Lord saying that he's sitting with Moses face to face, and then you have the Lord saying that no man can see his face and live. That's a contradiction. That's coming from the Hebrew God. That's coming from Yahweh now. So, like I say, anything that's in a carbon suit, you're worshiping a carbon suit, whether it be your ancient ancestors or not. Anunnaki, wherever you think you come from, or any of that, you need to understand there's a supreme spirit outside this plane of existence. Okay? This supreme spirit is confined with everything that exists, all you can see and all you cannot see, the visible and the invisible. It's the invisible world that makes up the spiritual world, or the spiritual world that makes up this material world that we view as solid. Okay? It's not. It's an illusion that's been pulled over our eyes. We're in a dream state. Okay? So, clearly, I speak with him face to face, clearly and not in riddles. Hold on. Proverbs 1, 6 and 7 tell us that the Bible is thanking for the wisdom and understanding of the Bible, of the Proverbs, of the riddles of the wise. I love pointing these contradictions out. You got to dig in and understand these and catch these contradictions, folks. So Proverbs 1, 6, and 7 is talking about having great understanding, wisdom, and knowing the riddles of the wise. And then 7 is the beginning or fear of the Lord. Of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. So that's what we got going on in all of this here. Okay. Contradictions. The Bible, duality exists. The Supreme Spirit says that He is one, and there is nothing beside Him. So I am who I am. I feel like I'm an individual of you, even though we're not individuals of one another. We are all divinely interconnected. You know, all of us are atoms and everything, what we look like, what we appear as. This is just a vain show of ourselves, as it tells us so. We are a vain show of ourselves. Okay. The anger of the Lord burned against them, and He left them. When the cloud left above the tent, Mariam's skin was leprous and became as white as snow. Aaron turned towards he and saw that she had a skin defiling disease, and he said to Moses, "Please, my Lord." There can only be one Lord. So in this particular case, when they're saying Lord, here, it is a controller. Okay? Figuratively, a priest. Everything that ever started anywhere always started with religion first. Religion was the first form of control to control the populations. The gods, the ancient ancestors, gave knowledge to certain people. They gave this knowledge to certain people, and then these people used that knowledge to pass that down to us. But as they were supposed to do, we're all supposed to be sharing in the same knowledge. But these leaders decided to say, hey, man, no. Let's not do that. Let's not teach these people the truth about their divine purpose in life, which is to live a righteous life, just walk straight, give praise to the Creator, the Supreme Spirit of truth. I mean, look at the glorious work that He subcontracted somebody out to do. I know you're like, whoa, subcontracted out to do. And you got to understand, something was permitted, something was given permission, okay, to breathe into an image of a first beast. Once you understand that the Gentile, it's us, this is how it all starts, because the Cushite woman, she's a Gentile, right? And Gentile then were of all, well, Gentiles now are of all nations. Okay? So Aaron is addressing Moses here as the Lord. Please, my Lord. He's not talking to the one that just cast the spell over him and made his wife leprous, or Mariam leprous. I ask you not to hold against the sin we have foolishly committed against you. Do not let the Lord, do not let him be, just give me 1 second. That just, something's bothering me here about that. Doesn't sound right. What parable is that? He, 12:12. Do not let he be a still infant coming from a mother's womb with the flesh half eaten away. Okay. Numbers 12. see, King James NIV version 12:12. Give me 1 second. So I went to a print shop and I'm having a trifold printed off, man, with all the Constitution and the amendments and everything that are on it. I'm going to be presenting that for the audience and helping people to protect yourself and stand by your rights. I keep telling people all the time that if you're going to be pulled over by the cops, if you've been drinking or anything by the cops, it's imperative for your safety that everything be right there at the top of your visor, goal position right there. Grab your stuff. You have your insurance, your driver's license, and your registration. It's all right there. And then you're going to have a trifold. The trifold is going to be your savior when it comes to not getting a DUI. Understanding the law, understanding your rights, okay? Let me give you an example real quick before we get back to this lesson. If you are driving down the road and you're a passenger inside of a car, you have warrants for your arrest, okay? And the cop pulls over your partner, okay? Your partner that's in the driver's seat. Now the cop's asking you for your identification. You haven't broken any laws. Now cops are shifty, they're crafty, they're liars, and they'll lie straight to your face. They'll say anything they can. They intimidate you because they're so used to just walking over people and never being questioned or anything like that. But your rights are under attack. But if you are a passenger inside of a car and you have warrants for your arrest, don't identify, don't get in unless they've thrown you in and they're driving you off to the jailhouse and they're going to print you. At that point in time, then you can go ahead and you can tell them who you are, because they're going to arrest you and find out who you are anyways, right? But you don't have to tell them anything. Who you are, you don't have to. In fact, you just tell them straight out, look, man, I invoke my Fifth Amendment right to remain silent and not incriminate myself, and I also invoke my Fourth Amendment right not to be searched and seized. Once you invoke these two rights to the Constitution, then a cop can no longer investigate, okay? You shut their ability down to do an investigation on you, and this can save your life, your soul, from being shot down in the street by a corrupted law enforcement officer. You understand? I don't know how this works, okay? But there is hate bred out on this plane of existence. And there's a breed of people that hate another breed of people. And it's just the way it is, man. And these people are murderers, okay? They're destroyers. They're killers. And that's all there is to it. This is what I'm trying to share with you. Okay. So Moses cried out to the Lord, please God, heal her. The Lord replied to Moses, if her father had spit in her face, would she have not been in disgrace for 7 days outside the camp? And the people did not have to move on until she was brought back. After that, the people left Hazeroth and encamped in the desert of Paran. Excuse me. I got sidetracked. I forgot I was checking this one here out. 12:12 is where we were at, because it was sounding wrong to me. Do not let her be like a stillborn. 12:12. Do not let her. Oh, I forgot the R. That's what it is. That's simple. Correct. Do not let her be a stillborn infant coming from its mother's womb with the flesh half eaten away. So Moses cried out to the Lord. Moses cried out to the Lord. And it seems like all Aaron has done is cause grief. And he's a high priest. Now, you, as anybody reads this Bible, you have got to see that the things that these prophets are doing, as written inside of the Bible, are not that of upright, righteous people. Okay. Lot being raped by his daughters, all right, because two daughters felt that all mankind had been destroyed off the face of the earth because everybody in Sodom and Gomorrah was wiped out. So the daughters think that we must lay down with our father now, or to keep life going. Really? Not only that, folks, I keep trying to get people to use common sense here. Okay? Lot was an old man, and his daughters were young and fertile and virgins. They could have left their father there and said, you know what, I'm going to go find me a man. They were supposed to be fair and beautiful. Virgins, who wouldn't want virgins? That's the most precious gift on the face of the earth, right? Sadly, the way that this Bible's written, is one of the daughters went into the town to find themselves a husband. They probably would have got raped anyways, because that's the way that this Bible's reading. Everybody in this Bible's, they're death, they're killers, they're murderers, everything that God, the supreme God, said to Moses coming off of the ark. If you shed a man's blood, then by man's hands your own blood shall be shed. So why is all this bloodshed being taken? Why is it happening? What God is saying, that I'll give you, Israel, power over these nations here, all the nations, giving you power to all nations, but yet, well, I believe you're starting to find your power, that some people are starting to wake up. But remember, the Bible tells us that 2/3 of the people will be destroyed. 2/3 of God's chosen children will be destroyed. That leaves 66.6. All right. And then a third fell from heaven. That's 33.3. Invert that number is 3. And then 6. That's 3 6s. Because we live in a 666 system. Okay? So, I guess the most important thing to take from this lesson is the contradictions, and to understand that God is one God. The Spirit, the Supreme Spirit of God, He subcontracts out everything. He's in control of everything. The Supreme Living Spirit outside this plane of existence. That of pure light. Here, let me show you something. So here we have this girl, and she's sitting inside of this vehicle with these big woofers on here. And it's kind of almost the same thing that how our this world that we live in is made up of. All right. So I don't want to get a strike on somebody else's stuff. So let's real quick. I want to show you what's going to happen. Watch.
I can make the bad guys good for a weekend.
Okay, so what you're seeing there is the power of sound. That is a vibration, and that is the exact same way that the Supreme Spirit, the electrification of the materialized world, moves all things in place. Understand the paradox that exists here between us and this plane of existence that we live on is a vibration that is so loud that we can't hear it. And that's the way this world is made up. We can't hear the vibrations that move everything in place. We can't see the frequencies and stuff, but they're starting to figure this stuff out. Now, I need you to also understand that this technology here that you're looking at is the exact same technology that they can use to radiate your body. They can burn you. They can fry you. That's how far the intelligence has come to this kind of technology. It's right in front of your face, and people aren't figuring this stuff out, man. All right? There's a lot of secretive mysteries that are taking place in the Bible. Okay? It takes wisdom. The only way that you can discern what's being said into the Bible is by going exactly to the Spirit of truth alone. If you are not going to the Spirit of truth, the living God alone, for discernment, then you more than likely have an alien on you. You have a parasite. You have a demon. You have a ghost. You have legions of them on you. And it's time to wake up. This is a real fight that's going on for your soul. This plane of existence isn't real. It's a fantasy. Just like a movie, how they set the screen where a little girl might be running through a pasture and stuff, and you hear the birds tweeting and stuff like that. But it's kind of like a dream state. And, well, that's what we're in. We're in a dream state. And it's time that people wake up to that. All praise and glory to the mighty Most High, our Creator who's one. Be pleased that He gave you life. He allowed you to have life, to experience this life and live a life incarnated. But there were rules to coming here. And the rules that are here are follow the Lord and follow Him only. This is White Raptor News Ministries. Have a blessed day.